So, you want to start a basic Vietnam War Marine kit from 1969 to 1971. Well, you're in the right place. I have been doing research and stuff and doing a lot of Marine stuff for a while, so I thought it would be a good video for starters to do a video on the basics of Vietnam War reenacting. Sorry for that background noise. So if you're starting your Vietnam War Marine impression and don't really know where to start, don't really know what to buy, I'm going to be doing a series on how much it's going to cost you, brief description of everything, and including photos on the side and stuff of everything I'm talking about. That way, if you decide to buy one, you do not get scammed. It always sucks whenever you spend a ton of money on something and it's not what you thought you ordered. So, gonna include photos, that way if you do buy one, you know what you are buying, because it would suck to spend $300 on a flak vest and it's not even the one you really want. Okay. One thing I also want to advise you, I'm just going off of what I know. Some of the stuff I say could be wrong, so always do your own research, look into the stuff, because if you spend a lot of money on a flak vest or something, you want to make sure it's the right one. Let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with the 3 patterns of M55 flak vest, which is the most preferred one to buy. So first pattern, these were primarily used, I believe, 1965 to like 1969 or 70 at latest, and these things are super rare and super expensive, so I seriously doubt you want to buy one of these, because it's gonna cost you, like, I've seen the cheapest they've gone for on eBay is $400, all the way up to like $600-700, so probably don't want to buy that one over there. Second patterns were used, I'm pretty sure 1967 to like 71. So that's kind of your general flak vest. You can find poster ones for like $100. It's really rare though, but I found one. I paid $80 for a poster one on eBay. And how do you check if it's a poster one? Primarily by the date. You can see right here, there's a picture, and like it'll cover my hand, but it's just like DSA, and it should say the date like 7th of May 1968, for example, or like in some of these ones it should say 78, and that indicates it was made in 1978 and not 68. So you want to make sure you do not buy a postal one, because postal ones have not as much resale value just because it wasn't used at Vietnam at all. It was made several years after. So make sure you buy a Vietnam War one, unless it's like a cheaper than $200 buy a poster one, but I personally would buy an original for resale purposes, so that way you can make your money back if you ever get out of the hobby. Okay, where was that? Okay, so Vietnam era ones, these sell for anywhere from like $275 to like $400. So save if you have to. This is the one I would buy. So $275 to like $400. Now the last pattern, which is really good for late war, is the third pattern flak vest. These were primarily used, I think, maybe to defensive. I could be totally wrong though. Used in 1968 to like 1971, and more of a late war kit. These probably go for around $200 to like $300. I wouldn't pay more than like $250, $275, just because if you're gonna already go to that much money, save up an extra $50 to $100, buy a second pattern, find a first or something. And one thing I do want to warn you guys about, be patient. You do not want to buy something that is bad condition for a lot of money, or good condition for a lot of money, that you can never sell or get back what you paid for. Be patient, deals will come. You do not want to rush any big purchase. Also think about what you're buying. Don't just like, oh, I really want this, but you actually don't. Think about it, because it's a lot of money. So yeah. Okay, now for some side flak vest you could use. Not as accurate, but they are a cheaper alternative. First one, M52A flak vest. These were made, I think, either in Korea or right after Korea for the U.S. Army, and they were used by the U.S. Army in like early war. It was later replaced by the Army by the 3/4 collar and then the M69 flak vest. So the M52A was used by Marines, and I'm not exactly sure if they were used in 65 or 66, but I've seen pictures of them being used in 68 like Quezon and Way City. So this is a cheaper alternative to an M55 flak vest. You can find these things for $200, $100, somewhere around that, and it's probably the best alternative to a 55. But another point is, I would almost just wait, save up for a 55 instead of the M52A. If the M52A is like 150 bucks, I would buy it. But if it's like closer to 200, just wait for M55. You're already almost there. Okay, for another alternative, 3/4 color Flak hoods, which I was talking about earlier. They're made in 1968 and probably not deployed by soldiers until late 68, and then they're using like 69, 70, and 71, and 72, I believe, when the last Army was there and stuff. So the Marines did use these, not super often, but you do see a heck of a lot of photos still. So kind of edgy if you're doing a Vietnam or Marine impression. So if it's $100, buy it, good deal. If it's like 200, 300, don't buy it, save up for a 55. So yeah, I think I covered everything. One more, M69 Flak Fest. I haven't seen many photos of them using these. These were more of after the 3/4 color. I would not use these at all. Do not use an M69. Primarily Army, I just want to buy one. So yeah, pretty much covers it. So how much is going to cost you? For a quick recap, at the 6-minute mark. First pattern, really expensive, 400 to like 800 bucks. Second pattern, good option, is anywhere from like 100 bucks post-war, which is rare, and then original like 250 to like 400. Try not to pay more than 300. And then we have the third pattern. I would not pay more than 300 also. And then we got M52A. Should go for about 150 bucks if you're gonna buy one, and 3/4 color, I wouldn't pay more than 100 bucks for it. Just not a good deal. If just save for an M55 is what I'm saying. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for enduring through this video with me. Comment down below if there's anything I need to fix in this video. Part 2 will be coming out in a little bit. Thank you for listening to my boring, wise soul, and see y'all later in the part 2.